Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I financed these two home builds, which are now my first two rental properties. Stay tuned. Okay, so whenever you plan to build a house or build a building or any other kind of structure in real estate, you have two main options for financing that build. You can either use your own cash and your own personal resources, or the second option is you can get a loan from either a bank or a private investor or some kind of other lender to build that house. For this home build, I used cash and my own personal resources. And I did that for a couple reasons. First, I will say if you get a construction loan, there's going to be time that it takes to close on that loan. So typically about 30 to 45 days. And I moved very swiftly throughout these two home builds, and I did not want to waste time on including a bank. So there's one reason. Secondly, is it is a bit of a headache to get approved and to go through that approval process and submit all the documentation and all the information that they need, as well as there's communication throughout the building process where you have to request money from the bank. That is a headache that I did not want to deal with on my first two home builds. Next is it cost money through interest and fees. And that is something that I did not want to take on as well. I did not want to have to pay to get a loan if I had the resources available to myself to be able to build it. So those are the main reasons that I did not get a construction loan on my first two home builds. But I will even go to say that even if I wanted a construction loan, I probably could not have gotten it because most lenders want to see some kind of completed portfolio of completed houses that show that you are qualified to be a home builder and build houses here in Texas. So even if I wanted a construction loan on these first two houses, I probably couldn't have got it. But that kind of even goes into more of the reason that I decided to build these houses, because I know that building homes and building buildings in the future is something that I do want to do, and I want to build big real estate investments. And in order to do that, I have to partner with a bank, and I couldn't partner with a bank if I didn't have a portfolio of completed projects. That's why I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and bite the bullet, build these first two houses with my own personal resources, and have that completed portfolio of projects to then, once I have them finished, bring it to a bank and say, okay, now I've built these houses. I know how to build a house. Will you give me money to complete this, whatever my next real estate investment may be? Those are all kind of reasons that go into play on why I chose to finance this home build using cash and credit card. Okay, so here's an Excel sheet that I put together prior to starting the build. That way I would be able to track the cost of each line item that went into the build. So I have it named the cost tracker. Here on the left, I have each individual line item that went into completing this home build. Everything from the lot purchase cost down through the foundational cost, then the framing, all the way down to the total. Here on the right, I have the total column, and this column lists the price that goes with each corresponding line item. So lot purchase, $27,000. Architect and engineering plans, $8,100. Rendering, $500, and so on. Then you'll notice there are four more columns. One is the cash column. These columns name what payment method I utilize to pay for that specific line item. So here we have lot purchase costs, cash, $27,000. Next we have the Chase Inc. business credit card, which is what I use to pay for the architectural and engineering plans. In this column, we have the Home Depot card that I didn't use quite as much. And then here on the right, we have the ABC credit account that I have with a local material supplier here. I'm going to go through this kind of briefly and just touch on the main items and what I used to pay for. And then we'll get down to the totals that I paid for these four columns and explain to you why I use these items. So as we go through the list here, I paid for all the foundation with cash because that contractor did not have a credit card processing option. And you'll kind of notice if you pause and look through, I'm not going to go through here too detailed because it might take a little bit too long and not be too interesting, but feel free to pause the video and look at it yourself. But you'll notice if you do pause and look through here, you'll notice that I paid for most of the material on credit cards, and then I paid for that labor for that specific trade using cash, because most of the subcontractors did not use credit card processing machines or whatnot. They didn't accept credit card. So here is the list going through here. Feel free to pause if you would like. And then boom, here's the totals. So the total for the build was $264,000, of which I paid $135,000 using cash. I paid $100,000 using the Chase Inc. business credit card. I paid $12,731 using the Home Depot consumer card. And I paid $15,958 using the ABC credit account I have with the local material supplier. So as I just mentioned, I paid for cash only when I had to, but I paid it to most subcontractors who did not have a credit card option. I only pay cash when I have to, is the only time I'd write a check or pay cash. Other than that, I always try to put everything on a credit card, and I do that because the more you use a credit card, the more you can show whatever bank you have that credit card through. The more you can use that credit card, the more you can show you have a higher spending limit. And in return, as long as you use that credit card responsibly and make payments, then in return, they will increase your credit limits, which is a very powerful deal to do. As you can see here, I have a $100,000 credit limit with the Chase Inc. business credit card. And that $100,000 credit card limit is what ultimately allowed me to build this house. Just being completely transparent with you, I built this house for $264,000. And before I started the build, that was more cash than I had in the bank. And that just kind of goes to show the size of risk that I took on by building these houses. Just being transparent with you, I only had somewhere around $160,000, $170,000 in the bank prior to starting this build. So I wouldn't have been able to build this house and complete this home build for this investment without having such a high credit limit. And that's just how powerful credit itself is. So let me explain two main, very powerful benefits about this specific Chase Inc. business credit card itself. For one, they have a intro promotional period of 12 months with 0% interest. So therefore you can max that thing out. Whatever the credit limit they may give you, you can max it out and not pay any interest on that balance for a period of 12 months. So I got this credit card right before I started the build and got a limit of $100,000. As I used that credit card throughout this build and built that limit up to $100,000, I did not pay any interest on that $100,000 even thereafter once the home is built, which I'm not going to reveal how I was able to pay it back yet. I will in a future video. But essentially, I paid off that balance of $100,000 all without paying any interest on that amount. So very cool deal there. Secondly, the cool thing about the Chase Inc. business credit card is that once you get approved for a limit, in my instance is $100,000, that limit will stick with me forever. Yeah, maybe once I get to month 13, I'm not going to use this credit card as this specific credit card as much because I don't want to pay interest. What I can do is I can go get another Chase Inc. business credit card and get approved. Maybe they'll approve me for $50,000 or $100,000 again. And once I get approved, let's pretend I get approved for $75,000. I can take the $100,000 balance from this specific Chase Inc. business credit card and transfer that balance to my new credit card. Therefore, I'll be approved for $175,000. And who knows, maybe after a couple years, I'll be able to build one whole house using that single credit card, as long as I can find subcontractors to accept credit card payments. So anyways, that's just some cool things about the Chase Inc. business credit card. Next is the Home Depot consumer credit card. I'm not sure if you go to Home Depot too much. If you're watching this video, then you probably like construction or not, so you probably go to Home Depot. This is something I don't want to say scammed into getting, but I got talked into getting by one of the people at the cash register. Oh, you want a Home Depot credit card? I ended up getting this credit card whenever I was like 18 years old, and I do regret it, but I ended up utilizing it on this build. And one cool thing that Home Depot does is they offer 0% financing on the purchase of any amount greater than $399. So given that I exceeded that $399 purchase amount, I did not have to pay interest on this amount for 6 months. So that's a pretty cool financing deal that Home Depot offers if you do have that credit card. So that is why I chose to use the Home Depot credit card there. Next, we have the ABC credit account of $16,000. They supplied the roof decking material, the wall sheathing material, and then all the siding and all the windows, $16,000. This ABC Supply is a material store that sells roofing material, siding material, windows, and exterior doors. And I have a credit account with them because I own a roofing company. And just over time, through building a good relationship with that supplier, they have trusted me enough to open a credit account. Well, also on that comes with that relationship is they will give me, in a new construction scenario, they will give me a job account where I can put a balance on that job account for a period of 60 days before I have to pay it off. And depending on when you start that job account, if you start in the beginning of 1 month, they'll give you the rest of that month plus another 60 days. So long story short, I was able to get this job account for a period of about 88 days where it allowed me to finance the cost of the siding, the windows, the roof deck, and the wall sheathing, and not have to pay it off for for about 88 more days. But essentially, that is the 4 resources and ways that I used to pay for this home build, which costed a total of $264,000. If you're interested in building your own house, then you should check out my How to Build Your Own House course. This course teaches you everything you need to know to successfully complete your first home build. And the knowledge that you gain from my course and the skills that you will gain from actually building your first house will stick with you forever and allow you to build many more houses and many more real estate projects to come in the future. In this course, I provide 50 instructional video lessons that give you a step-by-step layout on everything you need to know for how to build your house, everything like how to design your house, how to get your building permits, how to find subcontractors, how to hire subcontractors, and then of course, how to manage the actual home build itself. Also, I provide 8 Excel sheets and PDFs that assist you in tasks like how to request bids from subcontractors, how to budget for the home build, and how to schedule everything with the home build and much more. I created this course to be a one-size-fits-all solution for any person considering building their own house, whether that's for a big custom dream home or maybe a small single-family investment property like this, or maybe even a big real estate investment like a multifamily property. So if you're interested in learning how to build your own house, then click the link down below in the description and sign up today. So from the start, I built this house intending to keep it as my second rental property. And as you well know, I just finished the build and I called the bank to get a cash out refinance, considering I was going to get a long 30-year permanent loan. And they ordered the appraisal to determine the fair market value of the house, and the appraisal came back at $430,000. And this kind of has me thinking, this is my opportunity. Should I really keep this house as a long-term rental property, or maybe should I sell it and make probably a 6-figure profit on the sale? So stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to be breaking down the numbers on should I sell or should I rent and how much money I could make on either one. Catch you next time.